the APC in Rivers State has been reacting to this. Don't forget that the governor had moved to the APC, and majority of the members in the House of Assembly, including Speaker Amawile, are all members of the APC in Rivers State. They were actually new members of the APC. I'm being joined by the spokesperson of the APC in Rivers State, Mr. Darlington Wajo, who is live for us virtually. Thank you so much, Honorable Wajo, for joining us tonight on the program. Give us an understanding. Immediately we saw the response from the party, not from the governor, to this. And part of the news just coming in is the letter that has now been transmitted to Governor Similayi Fubara and Deputy Governor Professor Aldu, which is part of the constitutional process of impeachment, which means that they should communicate that impeachment proceedings within 7 days. Now they have done that. Immediately we saw from your office that the APC is rejecting the proceeding against Governor Fubara and his deputy. But what do you imagine that is going on? This is largely a political move, has a legal undertone to it. But what do you imagine that is going on? Members of the same party against their governor and their deputy. Isn't that a crisis of a political party internal politics?
Well, good evening, Nigerians. Thanks for yielding this platform to me to make some explanations or clarifications on the statement earlier on issued in the day. Now, I think that part of what that statement aims to achieve is to arrest the rather conflagrating situation which has been simmering of Rivers State, who today is now a member of the All Progressive Congress, including the Deputy Governor. And so that statement clearly calls on the members of the State House of Assembly, majority of whom are members of our great party, to sheath their sword and drop this process in order to allow for eminent party leaders and stakeholders to intervene once again and ensure that the peace is restored permanently and that the state, for one, who moves forward and leaves the era or the domain of endless cycle of crisis. And so that is what that statement aims at achieving. And I do hope and know that with the fact that we now have a governor on the platform of the All Progressive Congress, we believe strongly that peace will be achieved at the end of the day. Because we not also forget the fact that achieving the process of impeachment under Section 188 of the Constitution, as amended, is not an easy, or it's not a stroll in the park. You would look at what the constitutional provisions are, the steps that have to be taken. Yes, 7 days notice will be served on the governor, within which he has to respond to the allegations by the members of the State House of Assembly, and those responses to the allegations must be served on each member of the House of Assembly, after which another 14 days will be given for the House to look at the responses of the governor and then possibly drop the process of impeachment based on the responses given by the governor. And the process can only continue if they feel dissatisfied with the response of the governor before the Speaker can now empower the Chief Judge of the state to set up a 7-man unbiased panel of men of integrity to now investigate the allegations. And that committee will now, that investigative committee or panel will now have another 3 months to look at those allegations, after which they either turn down or write back to the House of Assembly to say, okay, we've looked at this allegation, gentlemen, we find nothing grievous, we find no gross misconduct, and it should end here. So, but as a political party, we do not believe that the House of Assembly and the governor should go the full hog with these kind of unnecessary banters. We believe that with previous intervention by the president and the leader of our great party, who has done so much to ensure that peace is restored in APC in Rivers State, and indeed the entirety of Rivers State. I do not believe that any stakeholder in APC in Rivers State will be interested in derailing the efforts of our president.
So, yeah, without initial establishment of the intentions and the perspective of the APC in Rivers State, I'd like to know, have you been able to speak with Governor Fubara? Is there any communication to him? Because what happened today, they're just a few miles away between the Rivers governor's office and the assembly complex where that happened. Any communication between the two of you or the party and Governor Fubara? Has he been able to communicate politically or officially?
Okay. Well, Shehu, I want to say to you that in the arena of politics, when you see a seeming family affair, you have to be careful to throw yourself or your opinions or views into the public arena. But like I said before, the statement we issued is a cautionary statement to arrest the seeming situation in order not to allow it to conflagrate, as it were. And so that said, the back-end meetings and behind the curtain meetings and as it were rapprochement will still be going on. It's not for me to start labeling or start disclosing whatever efforts that have been made in order to ensure that this is fully and totally restored to the states.
It does look to me that to glide away from answering my first question, that your party looks like a disastrous house right now, Darlington, because you have a governor, you have a deputy in the same party with lawmakers, and your party members are moving for impeachment against. Your party is in a disastrous mood right now, isn't it?
I do not think so. If you say so, then you are trying to make a mountain out of a molehill. It is not true.
Removal of a governor is
you must understand.
The removal of a governor is as minute as that to you.
No, it is not. I have mentioned earlier on that given the constitutional provisions, that this is a very serious constitutional matter. The removal of the governor is not just the mere sacking of a state governor. It entails the reversal of the decision of hundreds of thousands of persons who have voted for him. And so it is a serious matter. It's as serious should be. It's like an emergency.
But how can your party, look, you are a leader in the APC, Darlington. How can you, just a moment, how can your party, just a moment, Darlington, how can your party look on? Are you not seeing what is happening? Did you guys see that this was going to happen? How can your party sit by and see members of your party? That's a major political flaw in your party. How can members of your party want to remove the #1 member of your party from seat?
Now, Mr. Shehu, you must have to agree with me. Now, I know you are aware that these are issues, these are fratricidal issues that is dovetailing into our party. And these are issues that we are occurring within the People's Democratic Party. And so it is as if we have inherited these challenges. And I have assured you earlier on that with the intervention of the leader of our party and the president of the nation, that this issue will be sorted out once and for all. It will not go the full hog. I want to assure you, this is a political issue. This is a political disagreement. And so you must see it in that light. Yes, it does have legal implications and constitutional implications. But I want to assure you that it will be handled in the way and manner that Nigerians will be happy for it, and Rivers State will be able to move forward from where we are today, present.
Now, give us an understanding. What is the political undertone to these proceeding that began today, what do you, I mean, honestly speaking, I don't know, a lot of politicians are not known to be telling the truth, but I don't know you as such, but honestly speaking, what do you think is behind all of this? Who is the big hand behind the proceeding of wanting to remove Governor Fubara? Who is behind it?
Now, let me say this again. You must understand the fact that when there are disagreements, what people refer to as hangovers, when there are issues that involves people's psychomotor domains, it is very difficult for you to flog them into line. As full-blown adults, you don't do such things. And so it requires plenty of massaging of egos. This is an ego war. It's an ego battle. If you like, you permit me to say so, because you rightly said that I'm not into the business of lie telling, and I'm not trained to do so. So I am trying to tell you today that whether you believe or you imagine, or Nigerians imagine that there is a big hand outside of the chambers of the State House of Assembly who is interested in removing the governor, the fact remains that under the provisions of the Constitution, 1999 Constitution as amended, the State House of Assembly is empowered to do checks and balances, is empowered to do oversight, is empowered to do investigations, is empowered to confirm projects. And so these are legislative functions, and they are also empowered to represent their constituents. So you cannot just, try railroading everything or try cherry picking, given the situation of things. Like I said before, I would not delve into the arena of trying to conflagrate the already tense situation.
Now, when you say it's a game of ego, who are the players involved? Everybody, as far as stakeholding in Rivers politics is concerned, even the persons who've never heard of being interested in what is happening in Rivers State, everybody that is a politician in Rivers State is interested in how the state is being run, is interested in how the state is being managed, is interested in who is sitting as governor, and who is interested in going for what position. This is politics, for crying out loud. And people are interested in who gets what, when, and when. Well, I mean, what do you make of the allegations? Similar to what the allegations in March of last year. Do you think that Governor Fubara is guilty of this?
Assuming without conceding that he is guilty, we all know the facts, and I've earlier on admitted so, that this is all about political interest. And so we cannot sweep it under the carpet that it is more of political disagreements, more of political disagreement than any other thing. So you must understand and realize the fact that at the end of the day, this issue will be resolved politically and amicably, and the state will move forward.